This is a screencast for CA1 C++, the text-based engine. I'm Colin White, and I do this with Kieran Hoy, who can't join us in the screencast for reasons he's going to send an email in for. So basically our game runs like this. We've got an engine class, which includes all of our functions to run our engine. We create that engine, and we create a couple of variables and pass it into a function called run. So run runs our game. So you can see run here. Here it is here, passed in these four variables that we created. So a character class, a room, these are pointers, a vector of all of our rooms in the game, which is gotten from another function that's an engine called load games from file, which pulls all of our rooms from a file that looks like this, using delimiters throughout it. So it pulls in all of the variables we need and puts them into a vector of rooms, which we pass into run. So run lets you type in a verb and a noun, which we are converting to lowercase. You can use go, pick up, look at, use, view, help, or settings. And each of these does as you expect. So the go function lets you go, you specify direction, and if there's room in that direction, you can go there. Pick up, if you type in the name of an item afterwards, if the item is in that room, it lets you pick that up, and it'll transfer it from the vector of items stored in the room class into, so it'll remove it from that and add it to your character's inventory vector of items, basically. Look at lets you look at anything from your inventory, the room, scenery, characters, or items as well, and you can specify them either by grouping them like this, or you can specify them individually by name, and there's code down here that loops through all of the available items, characters in the room, and if a name matches, it'll output those. So let's look at use, lets you use items if you have it in your inventory, and depending on your item type, we've got a weapon, consumable, and key. So weapon, these all inherit from dynamic items. Everything inherits from everything basically in this, back down to an object file, which is like the central pivot of every class. So the dynamic item, we've got virtual overrides on the use item function, which each of these does. So depending on the type of item you have that you're running, it will use that item slightly differently. So that's use. View lets you view information like stats. So we've got a wealth value that's been checked, and on top of that, we also have the number of items in our inventory. That's the wealth value is the total value of all the items in your inventory. We also have unique rooms visited for keeping track of if you visited a room or not, and then work out how many rooms you visited. We also have help, which lets you output the controls, etc., to see how you play the game. And we've got settings where we've implemented quit, so you can quit the game and give you a last chance option, yes or no, if you actually want to quit. And we also have room where we were going to put in save and load. We didn't get those finished. So that's basically how the game runs. Our classes start with object and split into item. So item then, a dynamic item inherits from item, which inherits from object. Weapon inherits from dynamic item, so on. So character inherits from object. So all of the object information is ID, name, and description. So everything has that, and then everything else is added stuff afterwards. So a character also has like something like a vector of dynamic item pointers, and the pointers are letting us use, move items with ease throughout our game. Scenery character also then splits into a player character and an enemy character class as well. Scenery then just inherits from object and just gives you some additional dialogue to describe the scenery. Room inherits from object as well, but also includes a vector of dynamic items pointers, vector of character pointers, vector of scenery pointers, and a vector of connected rooms. So connected room is the only thing that isn't inheriting from object, because all it takes in is a room ID. So a room would have a connected room. So if it has one, the room is connected to, it takes in that ID, takes in the direction it's connected to, left, north, south, east, west, or southeast, southwest, etc. and if that room, if the door to that room is locked or not. So we also have enums for our directions, as you can see there, and we also have enums for the consumable items. So consumable also inherits from dynamic item, and it just has an effect value when you consume the item. And consumable type. So consumable type, currently we just have health potion and health poison. The game runs and lets you, so you can see, look at room, gives you information on the room. We can go in a direction, go west, say. We can look at this room, and we can see that there's a leaf. We can look at the leaf, and there's there. We can go east, go back where we came from. We can look at, there's a twig in this room, I know. So there's a twig. We can also pick up twig. And now we have it in our inventory, so we can look at our inventory. And you can see we already had a bottle of milk, but now we also have a twig. And finally, we can eat that twig. It's a consumable actually, so we can say use twig, and we can see we increased health for some reason. This character can eat twigs, but it also we can't use it indefinitely. There's a durability. So originally, if we go back up, twig had 2 uses and then it broke. So let's put that to the test. Use twig. Yeah, we use it again. Use it a 3rd time. Can't be used. It's broken now. Can never be used again. So that's how you eat twigs. You can. That's how you pick up and move around the game. You can also look at any characters if there is in a room. And as you can see, we've been moving from room to room as well. So that's basically the game in its entirety.